Hello, my friends. Jacob's here once again. Happy whatever day it is to you. I'm so happy you pressed play. Thank you for being a part of this amazing message that is about to come forth from the heavens. I mean, where else do these things come from, right? We're inspired. That's kind of the whole thing. You get these thoughts in your head. You got good thoughts. You got bad thoughts. The trick is learning which ones to listen to, learning which ones to cast away. Power of life and death is in your tongue and in your mind. And today, seems like people are going to start to learn how to operate in that. Could you imagine if you had like superpowers? Could you imagine if you were, just imagine for a second, could you imagine what if you didn't know who you were and you're part of this thing that Joseph Campbell would call the hero's journey, which is the fact that you've been called to set the world free from the lies they believe. Could you imagine if that was the case? Believe it or not, that's actually what the spreading the gospel is all about. That's what the choosing of the disciples and the apostles was all about. That's what the early church, as they say, was all about. But what happened to that church? Where did it go? Where's all the apostles and the prophets, and where are all the people that are supposed to be talking about the things of God? People that are where are the witnesses?
Oh, Jacob, you say all the time that the witnesses are about to appear. Jacob, I think you said that around September 23rd, 2017, that people were going to start to wake up.
I did say a lot of these things, and I believe it. And that's why the world is actually starting to manifest it. A lot of things going down, a lot of corruption being revealed, a lot of big earthquakes, not a lot of loss of life. Thank God for that, right? What if the things that we say, the things that we believe, what if they're linked to this world, if you will? You know that the scriptures say that God gave everything to the Son, for the Son, so that everything could be created through the Son, by the Son, for the Son. And do you know that that is what we're supposed to uncover? Christ in you, the hope of glory. That day, the scriptures say, you will know as you are known. That day you will be like me, co-heirs, according to the book of Galatians. Co-heirs. You are a co-heir with the Son of God, the child of God. You, in fact, are, when Christ appears, when Christ is revealed, when Christ is manifested, you are those chosen apostles. That new church is here, people. And guess what? It's been literally discovered. So buckle up, people, because that new day is here and the hunt is on. Hey, you're back. Thank you for staying around for the rest of the show. This is actually pretty cool. Yesterday, or the day before, I did the live stream, and I titled it, The Hunt is On, at the very end. It was the thing about the caterpillar hunters, the toxic caterpillars, and all that stuff, and I kind of took that, and I married it together with what's going on here today, and I said that the hunt was on. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back, watch the live stream. It's a good one, it's an important one, but this is interesting because I wasn't really thinking when I wrote The Hunt is On, but I felt like if I'm being hunted, symbolically speaking, metaphorically speaking, got a caterpillar hunter showing up everywhere, right? If I'm being hunted, perhaps that's what's going on in the world. Perhaps that's what's going on in the world, right? Because if that's the case, that would mean that this census that took place, a couple of years after that Star of Bethlehem moment, is much like the census that took place after the Star of Bethlehem moment back in the day, right? It's almost like everything I said in the live stream, that everything that has been is now happening. It's now, it's on, right? There was a Jacob Israel back then, there's a Jacob Israel right now. The story goes on and on and on. This is why I think it's interesting, because guess what was discovered? Guess what was discovered? This is beautiful, okay? Guess what was discovered? The ancient Galilee church in Bethsaida, right? The church, the early church, the new church, where Peter and Andrew were from. That place, when Jesus walked along the shore and they saw these two fishermen, he says, come follow me. These fishermen, right? They found it. It was on earth, said to be the home of the apostles, Peter and Andrew. Don't you find that interesting? That the early church, I was just saying, where is it? Where's that new church? Where is this 144,000, right? Where are the people that are supposed to stand up and start to preach the gospel? Where are they? I want to know. Because I want to meet you all. Probably a lot of you were in the comment section. If you leave a comment, it's very appreciative. If you don't hit the like button, you're not helping me out at all. You're not helping the channel out at all. You gotta like, you gotta share, be a part of the program. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell because nobody's getting notified, right? But it doesn't matter because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. This is the day that we're in. This is how the story goes. So, excavations in Israel, Galilee have uncovered remains of an ancient church said to mark the home of the apostles Peter and Andrew. The Byzantine church was found near the remnants of a Roman-era settlement matching the location of Bethsaida, as described in the 1st century AD Roman historian Flavius Josephus. Now, listen, this is what the guy said. This is pretty cool, right? Guess how much of the church they found? Guess how much of that area they found? About a third. About a third. Now there's a third in scripture that is spoken about in Revelation all the time. A third of this, a third of that, a third of this, a third of the crops, a third of the fish, a third of the pen, third, right? So it's a big significant deal. Remember when Jesus was on that hill and he was talking to everybody and there were like about 5,000 people and they're like, what are we going to do? They got a lot of people that are hungry. What are we going to do? And he's like, okay, what do you got? What do you got? They had like 5 loaves. They had 2 fish. He's like, bring them to me. And he broke it. He broke the bread, right? He broke the loaves and it fed them, right? It was so much that everybody got to eat. There was so much, everybody was fed. There was so much that they took up 12 baskets or something like that afterwards. 12 baskets from 2 little fish and 5 loaves. Everybody's fed, right? Here's the thing though. A lot of people getting fed today. A lot of people coming over here getting fed today. They're not then sharing the video around, right? You're getting fed. You're hungry. You come here, you get fed. But you're not doing what I'm doing. You're not saying what I'm saying. You're not asking what I'm asking. You're not seeking more if you are just here like the 5,000. Because it wasn't a lot of people afterwards, even though they saw the miracles, even though they were fed by Christ and they were fed these amazing, it was a miracle, right? It was a miracle. Let's forget about the literal for a second, okay? Let's forget about that, but think about the fact that he nourished their spirit, their soul. And then he said at the very end, he's like, okay, it's time for you all to go over Bethsaida. This is the place that was discovered. This is the place that the blind man was healed. The blind man, remember the blind man came over to him, he was blind, and he's spitting his hands or whatever, he rubbed and then the blind man sees, and he goes, what do you see? And he goes, I see men walking his street. I got a video on that. It's very symbolic. This is where the blind get their sight. This is the place where the new church takes off. This is where they met. And it was just discovered. That's the day we're in. Now, at the same time that this early church is starting to bubble up to the surface, same time that corruption is being revealed and people are starting to be hungry for more, guess what? There's a hunting going on. There's a hunt. A hunt is taking place. Turns out the most anticipated movie coming out very shortly, September 27th, it's called The Hunt. Yeah, it's about the elite getting a bunch of other people, like middle-class poor people, and then hunting them. It's supposed to be pretty horrible, but very apropos for the fact that a caterpillar hunter hunting me down, right? Because that's what happens. They were hunting. They're looking for those people that are waking up. Because this is the kingdom of God, right? But what happened was the God of this world, the ego of man, the idea of who you think you were, there's a dark spirit that's like a dark force, right? Lies. Father of all lies is in charge of this place, in charge of keeping you trapped in the first man, trapped in this hellish experience, instead of living a vibrant, free, creative, amazing, united life. That first man is a killer, right? That first man, Jacob's brother, Esau, a hunter, right? A hunter. Hunt is on. Ishmael and Isaac. Ishmael didn't inherit the promise. First man, a hunter, a killer. Adam brought death into the world. Get what I'm saying? Cain, firstborn, killed his brother. Get what I'm saying? The first idea, you, is not the truth of who you really are. Scriptures say we're crucified with Christ. Crucified with Christ. Christ laid down his life for us, so the idea of us could live, right? So that we could also be returned, we could be united again. So now it's our turn to lay down our life. But there's a hunt going on because that doesn't, the carnal man, the natural man, the hunter, the killer doesn't want that to happen. The flesh man, the egotistical man, the religious man doesn't want that to happen. I think it's interesting that right now, what's going on at the Vatican, they're looking for a girl disappeared. They're looking for the bones. So they opened up and there was like an anonymous tip that said that pay attention to the angel. Where's the angel pointing? Saying that that's where the girl's bones were. It's like an anonymous tip. Of course, the Vatican doesn't want any of this stuff out. They're being open and honest and transparent. They're saying, but gotta love the title. Vatican opens burial chambers in hunt for the princesses and missing teen. The Vatican's on the hunt for the bones of royalty. It's interesting. It's interesting. The hunt is on. Here's what's even weirder. Now, Bethsaida, according to my article I wrote, it's translated as the house of fish, many people would say. But really, the translation they're going with, the house of the hunt. I think that's so bizarre, right? So this place, Bethsaida, it's known as the birthplace of the three apostles, Peter, Andrew, and Philip. Jesus, obviously, like I said before, miracles there, visited there, spoke there, created miracles there. People were fed there. The house of the hunt. Been discovered. Whew! The hunt is on. So the question then becomes, is this early church that is now starting to manifest, start to bubble to the surface, are they going to come for the early church? Remember I talked about the Notre Dame Cathedral, the fire? Remember, and I pointed out something that nobody really pointed out. Nobody pointed out. A lot of people didn't even take much notice of it. The fact that they paraded right before the fire the beheaded apostles and evangelists. Remember? Hey, remember this picture? Yeah, so like right before this Notre Dame Cathedral went down, what they did was they beheaded a bunch of statues and then they sent them off to be restored. I think that's interesting because symbolically speaking, one could say that's what's going to come for that new church. But see, I'm here to say that that's fear and that there's always two ways of looking at everything. There's always two ways of looking at everything. I was just talking to big supporter of the channel, awesome, amazing guy. And he asked me about that song Sledgehammer. I guess he put it in the comments section too on my Patreon site. He was asking everybody, listen to the song, is it bad or is it good? Because you know, the artists that always are given this negative light, but is it bad, is it good? And I think the thing that people need to start looking at is maybe you stop looking for the bad and you start looking for the good, because when you start believing and you start seeing the God, the Christ, you start seeing the love and the spirit of truth and wisdom, and you start seeing that in the world instead of seeing the fear and the shame and the hate. If you start seeing that, then that becomes, because if you judge, you will be judged for how you judge things to be. Judge not, lest ye shall be judged. That is a law. Right? If you believe something to be a certain way, you will be judged with how you believe it. Don't you think it's time that you start coming to the knowledge of the truth? Don't you think it's time, now that the place where the new church took off, the place where the apostles started there, where people were fed, where the 5,000, where the miracles happened, don't you think it's time, now that that's discovered, maybe instead of worrying about what's going to happen, we should be worrying about what we can do to make this world that kingdom on earth that God has promised. I love each and every one of you. I hope you do share, subscribe, tell your friends and everything else. And now Ethan is running in here. Say, come here. All right. This wasn't planned. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
So you want to, Ethan and I, he's helping me to talk better because I'm too loud, right?
Too loud.
Too loud. So we do these exercises. You want to show them an exercise? Can you do that? Am I doing it right?
No.
No. All right.
It's cracking.
Yeah, I got to work on a clearer voice. Have the best day ever. We love you. Want to say goodbye to everybody? Give everybody a kiss. Want to blow everybody a kiss? All right. Mwah!
Thanks for watching Jacob Israel. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and share this channel around. If these shows have helped you, help Jacob to reach more any way you can, and have the best day ever.
It's a little out there. Yeah, little. What? We know that. We know that I'm a little out there. Yeah.